Well, I was on Sean's train there with Kirk Cousins in my
Ugh.
game of the week. I chose the
Ew,
Falcons and the
boy.
Vikings, a revenge game for Kirk
Yikes.
Cousins as he headed back into Minnesota for the first time since tearing his Achilles and leaving the team for the Falcons. The expectation was that this was
Didn't
maybe
work out
finally
so
going
fucking
to
good,
be
huh, bud?
his get right game. I think I had mentioned that he was going to get what,
No,
6 touchdowns. Obviously a little
no.
joking there, but
You should have said that about Sam Darnold,
should
buddy.
have hedged that bet because good night did the Falcons and Kirk Cousins just not have a good game at all. This man finally did get a touchdown. I believe it was on drive one or drive two. Kirk Cousins did finally get his touchdown, but that did not last for long. No, I take that back. He didn't even have a touchdown. It was the rushing touchdown that I thought from Bijan that I thought was the passing
Nice.
touchdown.
Nice,
No
buddy.
touchdowns, and he did have 2 more interceptions. So he's got quite a few interceptions thrown here in the last 4 weeks. I think that brings him to eight interceptions in the last 4 weeks total. So not looking good for Kirk Cousins. They are still not officially out of the playoff race, but the Falcons are not good. Now the Vikings win in this game. This is the first time that they have won a game by more than one score since Week 11 against the Titans. Prior to that, it was Week 3 was the last time that they had a win by more than one score. They're the Kings very much. They're very much right there with the Kansas City Chiefs of being able to win games by one score. The Chiefs have just done it a little bit more often than the Vikings have. I think almost every win this season. But overall, the Vikings defense finally comes through. They got a ton of sacks. They got 1 sack, but they had a ton of pressure, a lot of QB hits. Kirk Cousins,
Fucking jackass.
he did. Kirk Cousins was hit all day. Had a little bit of some rib issues there as he was just getting tossed to the ground. The Vikings defense looked much better than it had so far this season. Most of their wins, excuse me, 9 of their 11 wins come from teams that have a 500 or worse record.
Now, Chat Bob, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you've been calling a lot of get right games for a lot of people, including the Chiefs and for some of these
Been
teams.
wrong every time.
I think you need a get right game next week for yourself.
Yep, I do need to get right game for myself.
So yeah, I don't think it takes too much common sense to realize that the Vikings, with how much they blitz and how immobile Kirk Cousins has looked, it wouldn't take a whole lot to realize that this probably wasn't going to go the Falcons' way. But there were some extreme coverage mistakes uh, provided by the Falcons. Justin Jefferson was like already grittying before he caught the goddamn ball on his wide open touchdown, and the cornerback who was made a fool of on social media, making fun of how his ability to track the ball. Um, the Falcons secondary did not help themselves in this game, and the talent of the Minnesota wide receiver room was on showcase for sure in this game.
Is it time for the Penix in Atlanta?
They pay Kirk Cousins way too much money. I mean, if you're gonna do that, it's gonna have to come down from the GM. It's not gonna come from the coach, and I don't know if the GM is gonna authorize that because he's the one who gave the deal to Kirk Cousins. Somebody, if you do that, you've got to be willing to start Kirk Cousins next year, and you've got to be eliminated from the playoffs this year. And given how bad that division is, it's going to be a while before they get eliminated. Um,
He's got
as
a
smart
point.
of a as
Damn, you're
smart of
so
a
right.
move
That's such a
that
bummer.
would be,
That never
you
happens.
Yeah.
you just can't. You
Yep.
can't.
They're still technically in the hunt.
Fair enough. No, this was just straight up ugly game from the Falcons altogether. They did not look good at all.
Kirko has not looked good at noon for the last like month. On it, I think he's played like twice at noon in the last like month. Maybe
He
even a
goes
few. He
he
just
goes to
hasn't looked
Atlanta,
good.
has one good primetime game, and he thinks he's good at primetime, can't play at noon anymore. It's a wild thing.
Ah, pendulum has swung back the other way for
Uh,
Kirko Chains.
we have all been very critical of the Vikings. Vikings. I think they're clearly a good team. They've got 11 wins. They're going to make the playoffs. But
What do you think
I'm
Sam Darnold
just
did to resurrect his
It's a
career?
7-year bump, man.
he go see a medium to get
He's
rid of those
still very
ghosts.
streaky this year. Like he goes through stretches where he's still seeing ghosts. But
He sees
he's
flashes.
surrounded by immense talent. So like let's should not.
He's
I
got amazing talent. Great running
there's
back. He's got the best receiver in the NFL. He's got one of the best tight ends, who, granted, was out for half the season or more so far. But
Hey, to
he's
his
got
credit though,
a
he's put
great
a few that
offensive
only
line.
Justin could have caught. Like he's thrown a few dimes to Justin Jefferson this year. Like
Veteran throws for sure. No, I'm
he's
saying like
playing good football, man. Like he
oh,
has seen a few ghosts every once in a while though. You weren't wrong there, Bo.
I mean
That's
this
for
is
sure.
this is far and away his best game. Like it happened
Ooh, I don't know. Didn't they blow someone
360
out
with
early?
5 touchdowns
Didn't they
this
blow
year.
somebody out early that he went off against?
statistically, I would agree with you. Statistically, if
Yeah.
you watch the film,
Oh,
he has had
statistically?
better games.
Oh,
I'll give you that.
Statistically,
Oh boy.
He's definitely not thrown for more than 5 touchdowns this season. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Damn, he threw 5 fucking touchdowns.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
teddies.
Holy Toledo. Damn, yeah, maybe not. I don't think he threw 5 touchdowns in a fucking game this year. You got me there, man. I mean, I'm gonna continue to look at it, and someone else can start fucking talking,
Anyways, I'm
so
just
there's no
saying,
goddamn dead air. But yeah,
Sam Darnold is trying to make us eat our words right now, but I'm still going to hold true to the fact that he's not going to be a difference maker when it comes playoff time. They will if they win a playoff game, they're going to struggle to win that game. I promise you that.
Sam Darnold
I'm
will be
right
the
there with
difference maker in the playoffs.
damn, he threw 4
It'll be
against the
good or
Texans,
bad.
and he threw 4 against the Texans in Week 3. Damn. Oh no.
I'm there with you, Tybo. I don't think, and I don't think it's just Sam Darnold. I think it is this team. They're well coached. They need a quarterback to be a difference maker when it comes to the playoffs. Somebody who's a little bit better than Sam Darnold is this year, specifically because Sam Darnold is very good this year. But winning very close games against teams that are 500 or worse. A lot of people are saying, well, the Kansas City Chiefs are doing it. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are back-to-back two-time Super Bowl champions who have been doing that over the course of a couple of years and have shown you that it doesn't matter. The Vikings do not have that pedigree. They don't have that repertoire. They are new blood, to say the least. And so they've got to show us that they can do it. I just don't think that they can. I'm right there with Tybo. I think the playoffs are going to be a very rude awakening for the Vikings, but that's not to say that they are a bad
Rude
team.
awakening.
I equate the Minnesota Vikings almost to like the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA, where they're gonna get to the play-in or the 8 seed, 6, 7 seed, whatever you call it, but they're not gonna do fucking anything once they get to the playoffs.
Are these Vikings more fraudulent than the Vikings from 2 years ago? Whenever they had like a
No.
negative point differential?
No.
I think the vibe is the same. Like I don't think they're inherently fraudulent. I just think that they're not.
I don't think they're a paper tiger. They look really scary, but there's nothing really behind it. And once you punch through the scary front, there's just it'll all crumble. I don't think there's much to it.
And a lot
They're,
of people
they're
are probably going to bring up the fact that they've played the Lions really close. They also beat the Packers. But look at these other teams that they've played. Like those are the teams in your division. You know them the most. The Chiefs always play really close with teams in their division. This year specifically, they play close with everyone, but they have in the past been playing really close with the teams in their division. Much like what we're seeing this year in the NFC North, with all of them being good teams. But in the same vein, when they're close with the Lions and they do beat the Packers, they're still one point win victories against a now under 500 Cardinals team. They were 500 when they played. They've got other teams that they have played against that just are not that good. Like I said, 500 or below, 9 teams or 9 wins of the 11 that they have. They're too close of games. They are that paper tiger, Tom.